Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in again into our September uh, training. Okay, yeah, took me some time to think about that. So obviously, time passed very fast, and we have already entered into the final quarter of the year. So I hope everyone is, feeling like they have already checked a part of their bucket list that they've set for the year. All right. And of course, for us here in UCC, we would want you to also continue to gain new knowledge so that with that, you'll be able to be more better equipped, empowered, and hopefully to also help you to close even more sales by end of this year. All right. So, okay, without less further ado, let's jump right into it. All right. Okay. So today we're going to touch quite interesting topic, okay, because as I was designing the series for this month, and obviously to gear towards how we would like to go to the end of the year, it really made me think a lot about fats, okay, because I think we have touched into that last month. So of course, fats is quite a fascinating topic on its own, and there are many layers to it as well. So the more you find out about it, the more you find that actually fats have a very interesting side to it that we don't know. Okay, so one of the things that has always been in my mind is where do our food go after we eat? All right, because every time after we eat something, we don't really know what happened to that food. Okay, is that food completely digested, or does it immediately become fat? All right, and or is it water retention, or what is it? Okay, so I think this really made me think about it and how fast and how quick and where does our fat go? All right, and what can we do to better mitigate all these daily issues that we face every day? Okay, so today we're going to uncover some of these things and to have a better understanding about how fat is formed. All right, so of course, as I begin this topic, we want to know, right, what determines how fast we gain fat? Okay, of course, there are many factors that influence this. Okay, there are many sub-factors that contribute to this statement. But I've always had this thinking, is it insulin or food intake? Okay, this has been a debate for some time because some people say that, oh no, actually it's your hormone, all right? It's your hormones that make, most of the equation into how your body will gain fat. But the other part of the group would say that, oh, actually it's your food intake. If you eat more, okay, if you ingest higher calories, it means that regardless of insulin levels, you will still gain weight anyway. So, and food is something that you can control, right? And insulin is something that you cannot really see. So hence people may think that, okay, it's something intangible, so it doesn't really fit into this part of the equation. So what was really interesting as I was digging into this thing and the more I looked into it, uh, science actually says that insulin is actually the main contributing factor towards weight gain. All right, because Dr. Benjamin did this very fascinating study. What he did was that he extracted fat cells into a petri dish. All right, so in this petri dish, he actually put a high concentrated sugar and fat solution. So that is the best environment for fat cells to grow, right? So after he put that and he observed for 1 week, to his surprise, there was actually no change in the size of the fat cell. He's like, so strange. I feed the fat cell sugar and fat. It is supposed to get bigger, right? So he just injected insulin. Okay, whatever. Let's just test this theory. So after injecting insulin, immediately in the next hour, all right, in the next hour, the fat cell actually grew double in size. So he had this conclusion and he said that it's impossible for fat cells to grow without insulin. Fat cell itself don't really know what to do. It's like a stationary cell on its own. So it needs to have someone to tell it what to do. So insulin is that gateway that instructs the fat cell what to do. So it will instruct the fat cell, okay, it's time to accumulate fat. So insulin has a very strong function. In fact, it's one of the primary, most influential hormone when it comes to fat forming or increasing the size of the fat cell. All right, so I didn't know. So I thought it's just, okay, if sugar is high, insulin is high, then okay, it will contribute to fat. fat gain, but I didn't know it is so uh, directly correlated to how it expands in 1 hour if the insulin is high. Okay, so it says that insulin, okay, like I said, it promotes fat growth, and once it promotes fat growth, it will stop fat burning. Okay, it's as simple as that. It's impossible for you to gain fat and lose at the same time. All right. Some people think that, okay, if I do this and then if I, eat this other thing, it can help to compensate this. All right. But just so you know that our hormones are very straightforward. Okay. It can only do one thing at one time. So once it instructs your body to start gaining weight, it's very difficult for it to burn fat. Okay, because it can only receive instruction from one side. All right. So it cannot happen at the same time. And insulin's core function is to instruct your fat cells to get bigger. All right. So of course, with this, we need to know exactly how much insulin will cause our fat to grow bigger. Okay, there isn't any direct measurement that can tell us how much insulin can cause our fat cell to grow. If there is, a debate lah, or if there's one or two extra unit, then my fat cell will grow double the size. So at the moment, there isn't any scientific study. So we can only do that by measuring indirectly through blood sugar. Because blood sugar will cause your insulin to increase. Okay, even though it's not at the same amount, but they have the same pattern. Okay, so we have to measure. So, okay, for basic function, right, even 10 grams of carbohydrate will cause increase in your blood sugar already. So anything that will increase up to 1 to 2 units is considered something. All right. But of course, 10 grams of carbohydrate is not a lot lah. Okay. And of course, I want to let everyone know to not have an extreme way of thinking. Some people, they can get so afraid about blood sugar increase that they become hypoglycemia. Okay. They get so phobic over, they can be so obsessive lah, let's say, about their sugar level, right? That even a slight increase will make them freak out. Okay, just so you know, we all need to have a certain degree of increase in our blood. Okay, if not, we cannot survive. All right, we'll be hypo and we have all kinds of other problems to do with. So a decent amount of increase in our blood sugar is normal, and we need that. Okay, if not, we won't be in this world already, right? We need that for our body to function normally. So how much exactly is 10 grams? Okay, it sounds like, oh, okay. 10 grams, this is the, how it looks like half a medium banana, 1 cup of Greek yogurt. Okay, surprisingly, yogurt really is more of a high protein thing. It's not so much of a high sugar thing, but it does have some carbs. Small apple and 1 slice of whole wheat, they give you about 10 grams. So increase 1 to 2 millimole of your blood sugar. Now, so how much is considered a caution zone, or we should actually pay a bit more attention? Yeah. So I know 10 grams is all right. So how much beyond that is negligible? So 50 grams of carbohydrate is considered a danger zone really. Okay, it can increase our blood sugar up to 10 millimole. Okay, so 10 millimole is actually very high because according to the limits, right, our blood sugar should be about 8. Okay, post food, it should be about 2 hours later should be less than 8 actually. All right, but this one has the capacity to shoot even up to 10. So it just says 7 to 10 depending on what is the carbohydrate like. So we can be in the pre-diabetes level already just by eating more than 50 or 50 grams at that particular time. All right, so this speaks a lot about how it influences our insulin level as well. Okay, all right, 4 to 4, 8.5, so 10 is actually pretty high. All right, okay, so example of common staple. All right, so these are all at its raw form. Okay, rice, of course, we do eat white rice. So white rice is at the borderline. 1 cup is about 45 grams. And 1 cup of mee hoon is about 35. Okay, it's on the lower end. So all these are kway teow, hor fun, yellow noodles. They range about 35 to 40 grams of carb. So this is 1 cup. All right, 1 cup. But except for rice, we know that we don't eat noodles at its raw form, right? Okay, we definitely will put some other things. We put in the soup, their gravy and stuff like that. So in reality, when you eat out, it does not look this way. Okay. So how about the food that we eat out? So I choose these are some of the common things that we eat that we think it does not look that unhealthy, but Actually, in terms of the carbohydrate intake, it is really on the high end. So pan mee, okay, actually it's also my favorite lah. So I was a bit sad to find out that, oh my gosh, this is actually so quite high in carb. All right, nasi lemak, okay, no surprise. And even this fried bee hoon, we think it's very less oil, it's very airy, it's a nice breakfast, but it's actually pretty high. It's 86 grams, you know. Wow, it's a lot, okay. Fried rice, okay, surprisingly, fried rice is not that much compared to bee hoon, okay. I don't know why. I think it's the portion size that you take. Okay, and chicken rice is about there as well, and dry noodles. This is the no meat that we always eat. It's also pretty high in the carbohydrate side as well. And all these are things that if we eat at that moment can bring us to the pre-diabetes level one. Okay, whenever we eat. So this is the main reason why Malaysia is where it is today health-wise. That we're having so much diabetic related problems, insulin related disorders. Okay, really because of the food that we eat. And these are really factors that's beyond our control. Okay, and we cannot like totally, unless we isolate ourselves from society and we cook all the time, not eating this food, I think it's not quite possible. Right? So this is where our insulin spike all the time. Okay, this is if we eat 3 times daily. I don't think my lunch is so low lah. I'm pretty sure my lunch insulin level will also spike because I eat the food that you see just now, right? Okay, and this is of course not including the snacks that we eat. In between we eat something, we want to walk here, walk there, go and put the fridge. These are the things that we do, right? So this is for those who are insulin sensitive. Okay, so if you already have a pre-existing condition where your sugar is already on the high end, then your insulin will very likely be high all the time. Okay, that it cannot come down. So this is when it becomes very dangerous, and it will keep instructing your fat cells to go bigger and bigger. And this is how, overweight and obesity issue becomes the problem. All right. So when insulin is well balanced, this is what happens. Okay, food breaks down into sugar. So actually, it also influences how our body will use sugar better as well. Okay, what do I mean with this? Okay, in normal situation, actually, your food, if you have well balanced insulin, only a small amount of sugar will go to your liver to perform necessary function. Okay, just like to do detoxification or to make sure that your body systems are performing optimally. Okay, and a large amount by right, the sugar in the blood should go to your muscles for energy. Okay, this is the healthy way. Most of it should be utilized by your muscle cells so that your mitochondria can function and you'll be able to perform necessary tasks and you have a very good muscle tone there. And little to none of this sugar should be in your belly, okay, or in your fat cell. So if a person's insulin situation is in a very healthy level, it should be like this, where there isn't any much of an issue in your liver and your fat. And it should all go to the muscles and areas that need sugar the most. So whenever we are in a situation where insulin is too high and you persist in that situation for a long time, it starts to reverse everything that's supposed to be normal. So large amount of this food will start accumulating in your liver. And liver has a cap, right? It has a capacity. It can't store so much sugar as well. So you end up having excess sugar, and this is where the issue of fatty liver becomes a problem. Okay, there's just too much sugar and you don't know what to do about it. So eventually it becomes fatty liver, you produce high cholesterol and things like that. Okay? A small amount of all this and your muscle become less efficient and it does not know how to use sugar that much anymore. So those who have high insulin, they will also have problems with their muscle mass. Okay, their muscle will shrink and their metabolic rate will also decrease. Okay, and they will start to lose some of their physical performance as well. So this is where the muscle come in and large amount of this food. Okay, we want to know where does our burger go, right? So a lot of it will go into your fat cells if your insulin is not at the right level. So, for example, if you have a very good insulin condition, whatever burger that you were to eat, okay, your muscle will use it rather than storing in your fat cell. Okay, so of course, you want to know where does the fat go, and what is the fastest place it will be stored in our body. So for women, the fastest is in the belly. Okay, and this you can observe this very quickly. Just a matter of few days to a week, you can start to see some changes in your stomach. Okay, and then hip, thighs, and bums. This is just the central area for women. For childbearing reasons, right? So women tend to accumulate fat there. Upper body, the arm subcutaneous, and we have the jelly arms, right? And of course, lastly is the face. Face will take a bit of time. So when the person's face is bigger already, it means other parts of the body have also already started to gain some fatness there. So for men, it's a bit different. They don't accumulate so much fat in the hips, thighs, and bums area, but a lot of it will be in the belly, and they also tend to have a higher visceral fat count. All right. Upper body will also start to, the chest area, and of course, lastly, the face. But you can see it quite, they have a dead board lah. You can see the bit of a belly out there. Okay, so what is the fastest way to gain fat? All right, in terms of food intake, really, the fastest way is high carbs and high fat. Whenever you find a combination of fried and sugar, that is the fastest way to gain. And if they have nothing to buffer, if there's no fiber or no protein in between to like at least filter a little bit, then okay, immediately you go into your fat cells already. As simple as that. Okay, nothing to like stop it, then it really gains weight very quickly. Okay, so this is why if we don't do anything and we continue to eat our day-to-day food, even the healthiest like mee-hoon or porridge or whatever, okay, it will just spike our insulin level. Okay, and I think especially for today's modern food intake, we need to do something. Okay, if not, it is quite impossible to have a healthy insulin level. Okay, so before we go into it, don't forget it takes 3 to 4 days to gain fat. Very fast. You just need to eat mala for a few days. Okay, you start to gain fat already. But to lose that fat, my gosh, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to lose. Okay, that very fat that you gain in that few days. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, right? We have to proceed with a little caution now, but still, this is where Unicity comes to play a very important role, right? Because no food, no life, right? Especially for us, really lah, okay? Eating honestly without feel great. How to be healthy, really? Look at the food that we eating today. So this is where a bit of food really can play a very big role into helping us. So this is how it actually helps to curb a bit of that, to buffer a bit of that insulin. Okay, so a little bit of help goes a long way. So don't eat without any shield. So after eating, food becomes sugar, okay, like I said, and sugar absorbs very fast. Okay, immediately it will go and shuttle into your belly already. So if we have some form of shield, all right, that we take before food, okay, it can then trap the sugar in a fiber matrix. So in some way, it can block some of that sugar from absorbing immediately into your bloodstream. So you don't have that sugar spike. So if you don't have that sugar spike, then you also won't have the insulin spike. Okay? So then, because of that, a lot less sugar will then be released into your blood because they are trapped into this fiber matrix that we drink from bioplaster. Okay, so this is where it's able to reduce our total blood sugar up to 28% and also can reduce insulin spike up to 27%. So this really helps a lot, especially when you eat that banh or I like banh lah, okay? Or you're going to eat your fried rice, okay? Especially high carbohydrate food. If you don't have any buffer at all, it could really lead to very high insulin and sugar spike. So this is really a very smart way and a bit of a hack to help us, enjoy our food a lot more. Okay, so of course, this is where we have to do a bit of comparison. I mean, what makes Unicity fiber so unique? Okay, I mean, there are so many other fiber out there in the market. So why do I have to choose Unicity, right? So fair enough. Okay, these are retail fiber that you can find very easily. So a lot of the fiber that we see outside are basically just psyllium husks with no specific technology. They just put very basic ingredients. And their target is really more towards solving constipation, general health, and digestive issue only. Okay, I rarely see any fiber out there that boasts, it can help to reduce sugar by how much or reduce your cholesterol. I mean, there are some that they put on oat-related products, but I doubt they have such clinical efficacy like how we do here. And many times they are very watery, they are unpleasant, and they have no technology. That's why you don't really know what it does after it in the body. Okay, and they tend to have a high sugar content as well. So you really do compromise. So with Unicity, of course, it's different because we are very specialized into managing sugar and insulin levels. Okay, this is our specialty for many years. So our scientists have put in a lot of effort to find the best ingredients, the best combination, and even with the appropriate technology so that it can bring out the desired effect. Okay? So we have combined 6 different fiber types and patent in-house Unicity 7X and Biocardius Nutrate. So the 7X is actually really important because it can trap the sugar from our food. So the more viscous it is, the better it will be. Okay, so if you are one of the kind that very specialized on sugar, insulin, cholesterol, it's very viscous, gelling effect for lowering sugar and insulin levels, and we are very proud of our details as well. It's very low. It is not big or fast. Okay, 0.5 sugar and 4 grams of fiber in one. Okay, so all these fiber, I don't really know how much you get from Brand X. Okay, so it's actually a pretty complete and a very effective formula. Okay, so with this, after eating, you can see a very big reduce, and this can really help to curb our insulin spike significantly. All right, so the best way to lose fat is to eat smart. Okay, like what I said, eat smart really. Okay, not to say don't eat at all, because if you don't eat at all, that's not life now, right? So this can really help to reduce a lot of that insulin already. So another way is to increase our metabolic rate. So if we can burn more, if our body can be more effective in burning, that means that our sugar will go down and our insulin level will also help to be reduced. Okay, so how can we burn more fat? So another strategic way to lose fat is really increasing your metabolic rate. Okay, it boosts your existing burning rate, and it's not another restriction. It's very important, okay, because restrictions really don't work. So you want to do something as easy as possible and just some changes, and you can see big effect on weight loss. Okay, obviously this is what you want to know, right? Okay, so do you know that protein makes our body burn more calories? So protein increases our caloric rate by 30%, increases our burning. All right, carbs 5 to 10%, and fats 0 to 3%. So what does this mean? Okay, it does mean that if we eat more protein, our body burn more calories for several hours after eating, when you're sitting or even when you're sleeping. So even if you don't do anything, you are lying on the bed, you are burning more calories compared to someone who's just eating carbs or fat. Okay, if you ask me, I think this is a brilliant hack. Okay, you just have to eat the right kind of food, and it can help your body to burn even more calories. Okay, so why? That's because our body uses more energy to digest, absorb, and metabolize protein. Okay, because amino acids are just more complex in nature, so our body needs more of enzymes to do its work, so make our body work harder. Okay, it is also the most filling macronutrient. 10 grams of protein to keep you fuller for longer than 10 grams of fat or carbohydrate will. All right, so this speaks a lot, right? And this is why after a really solid protein meal, you feel a lot more fuller as well. Okay, and you're also less likely to sabotage your weight loss goal. Okay, you won't end up snacking as much. You can control better. You don't feel like eating and you don't feel like going to the fridge so often. Okay, so this is where I want to talk a little bit more about this because I know that currently with our 16-8, sometimes people may ask me this question. Okay, so I want to take this protein. So when is the best time to take it? Okay, so I want to talk a bit about this and how it fits into our 16-8 eating pattern. Okay, so for beginners, starting with a 16-8 fast is actually quite difficult. Not everyone can transition into a 16-hour fast so easily. Many people will take about 1 to 2 weeks to fully adapt because it's quite tough on the body. So it's good for those beginners to go with a 4-4-12 eating pattern first, have a bit of a breakfast, but you can go with like a protein first. Then slowly as your body adapts, you can remove that protein and you can go to 16-8. All right, but 16-8 is very effective for weight loss, okay? Don't get me wrong about that. It is very effective, but it's not meant for long term because I think it just stores our metabolic rate after some time. Once our body is less, it's just not so good at, burning more calories already. So once in a while, we are encouraged to go back to a 4-4-12 eating pattern just to restart the engine again. And protein is a great way to start. All right. So eating a clean source of protein is key to ensure that we don't pack excess calories. Okay, we don't introduce more fat into our body, and we can really introduce more high quality muscle. So whey protein is very convenient. It offers benefit for post-meal glucose and insulin levels. So it really keeps even though you take it, but it really keeps your insulin and glucose levels steady, which is very important. And obviously we are lacking. Many of the foods that we eat today are very quick, like breakfast, or it's just not, don't give us that kind of protein that we need. So this is comparison with other major players. This is why Unicity, LC Pinella are really one of the best position out there. And these are all major brands, okay, major players. And their protein may seem more than us, but look at their carbs and their sugar. All right. Basically, you are just like, I'm not too sure what are they achieving with this kind of like nutrition profile. Because honestly, it only spikes your sugar and insulin level even more with this kind of ratio. So ours is very good. Only 1 gram of sugar and 10 grams of fiber in it. So it is a very awesome product for your insulin and sugar levels and maintaining your muscle mass. All right. So increase your metabolic rate by prioritizing protein. So this is the one thing that I would encourage everybody to take if you can, right? Incorporate more protein into your diet to make sure that you can burn more fat. Last but not least, I want to touch on this topic, okay? Of course, you all know, right, the story about Oprah and Kelly Clarkson. And this has been, one of our topic that we've been talking consistently about this whole year. And it still is very important, okay? We are one of the first few that talks about it, and we're still continuing to find out more interesting things about it. Okay, so many people don't really understand how GLP-1 works. So until today, there are still people who ask me, what is this? It sounds like a very scientific and a very complicated term to explain to people. So the best way I can explain it is through visual, right? Okay, so this is how our body like without GLP-1. Okay, it's like just a boat lah, right? Without anything. So everything goes through very slow. Okay, but once we have this GLP-1 in our body, okay, it's like an engine, it's like an accelerator. It helps to process things a lot more faster, and we can get rid of those excess sugar a lot faster compared to this. All right, so depends where is your body right now. Okay, so GLP-1 is this accelerator, and how does it work is this? Okay, so this is for most people most of us that we don't really have enough GLP-1. So 2 hours later, you will still decrease a bit of the sugar compared to here. But your insulin may still be high on it. Okay, because of eating too much fried rice already. So our insulin level may still be low, even though the sugar has decreased a little bit. So this is where GLP-1 comes in to play a very important role. Okay, if we have extra GLP-1, right, end up 2 hours later, your body will be a lot more faster to clear sugar, and your insulin also will be a lot lesser as well, post-food. So this is why GLP-1 is making so much progress, and I would say has captured a lot of attention because it's so effective. It's super effective in managing sugar and insulin levels. All right, and even people like Oprah and Kelly Clarkson is on it. So, right, it does say something, right? So the more GLP-1, the better. Okay, the more engine we have in the body, the faster and more efficient it is our body to clear excess sugar. All right. So GLP drugs have 10 to 11 times more GLP-1 okay, compared to food. All right, we're talking to 10 to 11 times more. But okay, it costs 400 to 400 Sing dollar, and Malaysia is about 800 to 900 per pen, okay, per pen. And you use 4 pen in a week. I mean, no, 4 pen in a month. So you times 4 lah. So it's about 1,006 Sing, right? So it's very costly. It's super expensive. Okay, even though it's very effective, but it is really a rich people kind of medication. And your weight goes up once you stop taking. All right, lots of studies that say weight rebound happens very easily once you stop. And the thing is, you lose muscle mass, okay, and you gain back fat. All right, and that is the thing that having too much of all this stuff, it really destroys a bit of our metabolic health, lah. Okay, and it will also lead to stomach paralysis, where your stomach does not know how to work because it just totally stops you from eating. So these are the side effects and the barriers to having GLP-1 drugs. So this is the reason why we have to talk about Unimate, right? Because it's one of the best. Recently, there's this very popular woman on metabolic health. Okay, she's glucose goddess. So she actually did mention that yerba mate is one of the few natural foods that can increase GLP-1 in. And she's quite a well-known person in this metabolic space as well. Okay, So she did say yerba mate increased GLP-1. So it's not just only our own scientists who say. So another pretty prolific person also chipped in to say that yerba mate is actually pretty good in increasing GLP-1 levels as well. So this is our own internal study where we measure control and Unimate. Okay, so control group, obviously you don't see much increase here, but those with Unimate, we can see close to double increase of GLP-1. So for food, this is already very, very good. Okay, because it's actually quite hard to increase GLP-1 levels. All right, so if we can give this kind of result for a natural food product, I think it's very good already. So this is how it looks like visually for a person who just only drinks water. You only have very little GLP-1. Okay, compared to having yerba mate, you may increase up to double the times of GLP-1. So the more GLP-1 we have in our body, the better it is in flushing out, okay, in processing and managing excess sugar and insulin levels in our body. So more yerba mate means more GLP-1. So if you can, okay, you're encouraged to take even up to 2 sachets of yerba mate a day. Then you can really start to see how it manages your appetite, how it increases your focus, your metabolic rate, and so much more. Okay, so if you can, be on this and add an additional uni mate. Okay, and not just only that, Unimate not just only increase your GLP-1 levels and not just only beneficial in that sense, but it also increases glutathione. So glutathione is this antioxidant that we see a lot in skincare brochures, right? Help whitening and stuff like that. So it actually increases the glutathione antioxidant in our liver. So it protects our liver from free radical damage. So it's very good. It also protects the liver, okay, while you are increasing the GLP-1. So I think this is the two-in-one benefit that is packaged in this Unimate, right? So what is the best way to lose fat? So we have learned a few things. Number one, we have to eat smart. Okay, we have no choice actually. All right, due to the kind of food that we eat today, we are going to be pre-diabetes anytime soon. So we have to do something to help us to stay healthy, okay, for the long term. So take your BLS before food, okay, and increase your metabolic rate as well. This is a very smart way actually. You don't have to do much, just some extra steps. Then you are already burning more calories than normal. So this is where taking a bit more protein is great. Prioritize protein, and I highly encourage a whey protein, especially that Unicity. It can be really good into giving fast-acting protein straight into your muscle. All right, and further increase that metabolic rate. And also increase that GLP-1. By increasing that, you can see significant effects into your metabolic rate and also in terms of managing your appetite. So having two of these strategies can help you to keep your insulin levels low. Hence, it will also reduce your fat percentage. So with these strategies, it can help you to reduce the fat and to keep you on your health journey. All right. So this is the end of today's presentation. So I hope you learned a thing or two about fat and what are the strategies that we can do so that we can act smarter to better manage our sugar and insulin levels. All right. So this week we're looking into food. And I realized I was actually rushing through the GLP-1 because I just don't want the presentation to be too heavy since we touched on a lot of things. So next we will talk about how GLP-1 affects metabolism. Yeah. So today's focus is a little bit more about the fiber. So we will put in more into how it exactly boosts the engine in our body. Okay, so stay tuned to this on the 24th. All right, we're going to do another series that talks about how GLP-1 can further improve our metabolic rate. All right, so thank you everyone. So this is the end of today's presentation, right? So if we have any questions that you want to ask about this topic, you can feel free to ask. If not, actually, you can also email me, no problem. Okay, so while we wait, we can give it like maybe 5 minutes, right? If you have anything that you want to ask, chat room is open. Okay, so we have a question here. What is the difference between live fiber and S? What do you think? Of course, it's quite different. First of all, the packaging is different. I'm just kidding lah. Okay, obviously, the technology behind it is very different. Life fiber is okay. Of course, life fiber is different from other retail fiber. Okay, other retail fiber are just purely psyllium husk only. So for life fiber is actually very effective for constipation because it's not just psyllium husk. They put in 21 different herbs, if not mistaken. Okay, if you look at the product labeling behind, there are so many other sub ingredients inside that's really good for colon health. So life fiber is actually very good. Since you're on this, right? It's something good to add into your current routine as well because fiber also helps to increase fermentation in our gut, and that will lead our gut to produce even more GLP-1. So life fiber actually can also incorporate into your food grade set if you are really on it because it's really good for to further enhance that GLP-1 effect in your body. And that, but life fibers effect is more towards the colon, okay, GLP-1, but not so much of blood sugar. Blood sugar is S, okay, because S has this Uni 57X technology. Yeah, it can, especially the gelling effect, right? That's actually very important and very unique to Unicity that our fiber can expand. So that is the main thing that targets on the sugar and cholesterol level. So that is the one thing that live fiber does not have, okay, but still is great for colon health. And if you take that together with S, we can see really good effect on how it can improve our body's general health. Okay. So well, if there isn't any questions, it's okay also, not to worry. So we can talk about more things okay, on the 24th. All right, so on the 24th, we'll touch more about GLP-1, okay, because yeah, just to give people a different dimension to it and how what we see in healthcare, the results that we're seeing in healthcare and how we can incorporate some of that with our future plan. All right, so we're going to talk about some new science and new development on this. So I hope that you will join me on the 24th of September. So thank you so much. I hope you have learned a thing or two. Okay, so see you everybody. Good night. Bye.